We may be in the middle of a global pandemic, but Georgia Bulldog recruiting still doesn't stop. What's up, guys? Matt DeBary with DawgPost.com, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down a list of multiple targets who included Georgia in their top group, whether it's a top 20, top 10, top 5, or a top 3. There are plenty of prospects across the country who put the Bulldogs in their top group, and I'm going to break it down right now. The first guy I want to talk about is four-star wide receiver Mario Williams out of Plant City, Florida. One of the top wide receiver prospects in the country. Actually, he's the number 4 wide receiver prospect in the country, number 6 player in Florida, and number 40 overall prospect in the 2021 class. He took a visit to Georgia for a junior day back at the weekend of January 18th. I spoke with sources after that visit, and you can go read all about it over on Dawg Post, but the staff blew him out of the water. He spoke with Todd Monken, who he said, Williams told me afterwards that he would go crazy in the new Bulldog offense under new OC Todd Monken. He spoke with Kirby Smart, got to play some wiffle ball with the rest of the team and some support staff, all that good stuff on his visit. And overall, Georgia rolled out the red carpet for him, and they should. He's one of the top players in the country, obviously. Great speed. Can run a route, knows how to get open, very shifty, and just finds a way to make it to the end zone. So again, one of the top prospects in Florida. He recently put out his top 5, which obviously included Georgia, Florida, Alabama, LSU, and Oklahoma. Again, I think if he made a top 3, Georgia would probably be in that top 3 as well. They had some momentum after that January 18th visit, and obviously it's still there. I think Georgia's going to be in this the entire way. Spots at wide receiver are limited. Georgia took about 5 in the 2020 cycle off the top of my head. So they might just take 3 in this 21 class. So the numbers are going to be tough there, but I do think Mario Williams is towards the top of Georgia's overall board at wide receiver and a guy that they're going to push forward the entire way. Definitely a guy to keep an eye on. 5'10", 165-pound speedster out of Florida, Mario Williams. Another guy, 5-star running back, Trayvon Henderson. Great speed, great acceleration, burst. I'm not sure if he's a complete bag just yet. I want to see if he can move the pile and, have that power to his game. But obviously one of the top running backs in the country. He still has some narrowing down to do. He created a final 9, which included Georgia, Ohio State, who I know he really likes a lot. North Carolina, I think, is probably a dark horse. They're the in-state team, but they're putting together probably their best recruiting class in the history of that program. They have a lot of momentum, and I think they have a better chance of landing the 5-star running back, again, from the state of North Carolina, more than people think. But I do think Georgia is up there for him. He's got Georgia, Ohio State, North Carolina, Michigan, Virginia Tech, Penn State, Texas, Oklahoma, and Virginia. So there's still plenty of schools in the mix. One of the top running backs in the country likes Georgia. He was there for the weekend of February 1st, right before the dead period that lasted all of February. So he had a good long visit at Georgia, and again, I had sources tell me that visit went really, really well. So he's got a final 9 right now. If you move that to a top 5, I do think Georgia would be in the mix. Again, they might be 3rd right now from what I'm hearing. Ohio State actually took another North Carolina running back, Evan Pryor, a couple of days ago. Georgia was in his top 3. But the Buckeyes are in it for him. They're in it for Donovan Edwards, another guy that Georgia's after. So the Bulldogs are kind of recruiting against Ohio State more than anyone right now for these running backs, and Trayvon Henderson is one of them. He came up with his final 9. Georgia's in the mix, but I think they're probably towards the high end of that final 9 if I had to make a guess right now. 4-star Marcus Burke at a Trinity Christian Academy down in Florida. He came up with his top 5. That included Georgia, Florida, Miami, Penn State, and Georgia Tech. I would be very surprised if he didn't end up at Florida in the end. 6'3", 180-pounder. I think if the Bulldogs push for him down the road, they might still be in contention. But from everything I'm hearing, although he did put out his top 5, I think the Gators are in the best chance to land him right now. Dakota Mitchell, another Florida native out of Winter Park. He came up with his final 3 of Georgia, LSU, and Florida. He is a 5'11", 170-pound safety who has picked up a few offers recently. 3-star guy. He's not as highly ranked as a few other people, but when Georgia, Florida, and LSU are pushing for you, you can play. And he's a kid that likes Georgia. I don't think they're ahead of LSU and Florida right now. I think Georgia's probably running third, but still a guy to keep an eye on. 4-star Quentin Summerville out of Saguaro High School in Arizona, teammate of Georgia Bulldogs signee Keely Ringo. He came up with his final 9. I believe it was final 8 yesterday, excuse me. Georgia was in the mix there. A lot of people thought he might end up at Oklahoma. I think his family has some Oklahoma ties. I don't think he'll end up at Oklahoma in the end. I think Georgia's in a really good spot. He took a visit, I believe it was the February 1st as well, that final weekend before the dead period. I might have that wrong. But he was accompanied by Keely Ringo, who I was told will play a factor in his decision. The two are close. They played together in high school, obviously. And Keely signed with Georgia, so he's going to be in Quentin's ear the entire way. Again, definitely got to keep an eye on one of the top defensive end prospects in the country, top 100 player. And I've written, I think, 2 stories on him. You can go check those out on Dawg Post. But he likes Georgia. He loves the college feel out there. He likes that you're kind of a small town. A lot of people like football. So I do think Georgia's in a really, really good spot for him. So that just about does it for me. Thank you guys for watching, but stay tuned to the next video coming up where I talk about some of Georgia's top linebacker prospects, or excuse me, targets, including a 5-star update on Smile Mondin, and then another update on Barrett Carter. So stay tuned, watch that video. I will see you guys next time. Be safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys next week.